The content and opinions shared on Talking Randomish are intended for entertainment and informational purposes. They reflect the personal views of the host and guests and do not constitute professional advice or represent any affiliated organization.
We're talking randomly. Talking random. We're talking randomly. Talking random.
Welcome back to Barbershop Talking Random-ish. I am your master barber, Enrique and Tadio Kane. Alongside tonight, I got the scalper himself in the first chair, straight off the farm, from doing the little handyman work. I got my guy in the building. What's good with you, my guy?
We up. Let's go. Let's get it.
And tonight, we got some friends, some new family in the building, some old family in the building. Miss Cat stopped in. How you doing, man?
Did you say Miss Cat? What?
I said Miss Cat stopped in.
I heard something. I was
No,
like,
you didn't. Hey, Rick, next time complete the sentence. She stopped in without the hot wings.
No, and she did bring out.
okay. You know what? That's the only reason they invite me back is because I usually show up with snacks. No matter where I go, I have snacks, right?
Yes,
I
something.
keep like a case
I
of water.
missed out on
Yeah.
the first of my cake.
I'm sorry. I keep a case of water in the car just in case. I usually have snacks just in case. You never know. And in Athens, we got a lot of people who might need stuff as we're driving around, so I like to be prepared. But then I also like to feed people because I'm Southern, and that's what Southern women do, right?
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
we show love and we
Gratitude.
feed you.
Gratitude.
So, yeah. So
I'm on
Gratitude.
I love that too.
And we also have probably one of Athens' legendary musicians. Elite, the Show Stoppa, stopped in and graced us with his appearance. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. Blessings. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey man,
Sincerely.
like I said, the pleasure is ours. Like I said, in many rooms that I've been in, your name has definitely been mentioned.
you know every room you've been in, his name's been mentioned. You
In
know
the-
like that.
Right.
in the highest of esteems.
Right.
And so, like I said, it's definitely a pleasure, and it will be even more of a pleasure to have you back, so we can talk about the man.
Yes, sir.
The myth and the legend.
Yes, indeed. Well, tonight, we actually have the fifth candidate that May 19th, the mayoral race is in the building. And we began by listening to how she became the woman that she is. And she got into a little why she began diving into politics, but I guess my first question is the first question that I have asked every candidate that has sat in that seat is, before my mother passed, we were trying to find her a home, somewhere to live. My mother was born and raised in Athens. I am born and raised in Athens. But with her retirement, Social Security, it was damn near impossible to find my mother a place to stay. Because Athens has almost
Priced out.
priced out anybody that's from Athens to be able to live in Athens. If you become the mayor of Athens, what is your plan to help the citizens of Athens be able to live in the city of Athens?
Affordable housing and stuff.
You know, affordable housing begins with people staying in their homes. And a great part of that is your expenses. You know, is your income too, but your income, if like for example with your mother, right? How much more income can you make if you're an older person, right? But you got to look at your expenses, and a lot of times what that entails is the taxes. We're a small town. There's just so many property owners carrying the weight of the services that we get taxed on top of the sales tax, you know, which by the way is a lot higher than some of the other areas. And the ones that really pay for those sales tax increases are the poor. You know, we know this. I think the taxes have gone up a lot. And because they've gone up a lot, it's because we've been adding more programs and more things to the local government. You know, it's almost like, here's the problem. When unification happened, right, because this is the history that I was given. When unification happened, you guys have heard the history of how the city of Athens, you know, couldn't support its taxes, so they unified with Clark County, and then there was some things that didn't happen in the agreement, and a lot of people know about that. I went to go look at the video of the first ceremony of the unification. And that first mayor was talking about affordable housing.
Right.
That was like 30-something years ago. And I said to myself, last time I ran, we talked about affordable housing in 2022. Right now we're talking about affordable housing
in 2026,
So here's the thing, 35 years till now, how many people have been in office?
A lot.
Talking about the same things, right? So one of the problems keeping people in their properties is taxes, but everybody wants to get things done. There's the pretty things and the things that we must do.
Right.
And it seems like the pretty things are outweighing the things we must do. You know?
You said something?
Well, it's true, you know? And the people that are getting those pretty things done, they're happy. Because everybody's at different levels, right? So, and I had this conversation with this lady when I first ran in 2022. I said, our community is made up of different people. We have rich people, middle class people, poor people, right? And then we have homeless too. But there's something we all share in common, right? There's something that we all share in common, which is we want housing, we want cleanliness, we want the services to come to our neighborhoods.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're a rich neighborhood or a poor neighborhood, but it seems like the rich neighborhoods get more service than the poor neighborhoods, right? That's not right. Because you're paying your taxes, and everybody's neighborhood should be clean.
Yeah.
Everybody's neighborhood should have the same kind of services, right? And if, let's say, right, that we're saying, oh, this area is crime-ridden, right? And it's dirty because it's crime-ridden, whatever. Well, then let's address the crime, right? We're paying for those taxes, with our taxes, to address those issues. But it seems like the other areas, well, we're up to this level right now. We don't need those other things. Now we want all these pretty things. But all that money's getting taken in that area, right? So this other area, the basic things that the other areas have gotten, they're not getting it. And I was shown that. So when I was shown those things, I was like, we have a problem here.
For sure.
We're all paying our taxes, right? It doesn't matter that you're paying more because your house is priced more. That's different. But it shouldn't matter because you're still paying your taxes. So I think the people that have gotten the pretty things have gotten used to it.
Right.
We like this to keep going, and they're forgetting that they have neighbors. Neighbors that need, you know? And so nobody wants to look like the bad guy, right? So sometimes they throw a bone. And I hate to talk vaguely because sometimes it's kind of hard to talk directly, but because then you have to get into some details and it's going to take another hour.
Right.
But sometimes they throw a bone and they say, okay, we can do this, make people happy. But then they take 3/4 of the rest of the money and do those pretty things.
Yeah.
So for me, my concern is if we're going to be taking those taxes, we have to see results on them. And if we're not seeing results on them, then we better adjust those taxes.
Right.
Even if the prices go up. Right now they're saying the prices are going up because of the demand. because we need to provide 8,800 units, right? Well, get this. From 22, I looked at the A to Z magazines that the government puts out.
Right.
So I Googled and looked at the population from 2023 to 2026. It went down.
Right.
So what do we need 8,800 units? Now they say that we had 500 homeless people, right? And now it went up to 900. But still, where are those 8,800 units?
UDA students
right?
is what they're providing it for.
There
So
you go.
obviously there's a plan to put in more housing, more density, right? More
But-
density, they say, is going to put the prices down. But here's the thing. We have an infrastructure deficit, right? We need to address infrastructure. Without infrastructure, we can't build anymore. And there's places that need maintenance. So we need to supply money to that. So guess what? We're going to have to put more taxes. So where have we been putting this money? It's almost like a cycle. We need more money to put more things to these places, but we're not addressing the real problems that we have in some areas.
Yeah, we too busy building all these
Yeah.
jogging paths and walk paths around the whole county.
Our priorities are
So
nonsense,
that was your mic drop moment at the debate to me. Like when I guess the question was really about like what are we gonna do for the homeless, and you basically shut it down by saying, look, we got money, we got money allocated that we can't allocate to help these people.
Yes.
But we too busy building this whole circle around and the cart pass or
Yes.
walk pass, and you know how much that costs. They got to clear the land, free it
And
up.
believe it or not, people
level
get
it
mad
off.
at me, but I'm not saying I'm against trails and all those pretty things.
No. Of course not.
Societies need that,
Of course not.
but not before
Right.
sidewalks,
Right.
street lights,
Right.
in neighborhoods that were promised that.
Right.
Because if other neighbors have that, then these neighborhoods should have
Right.
that, right?
Right.
So when we supply those and we bring it up to par with everybody else, then we can connect.
Well, I think so.
Trails and parks. and all
Right.
that.
And I think sometimes like you got to take care of the community. Like I see a trail going to community and the community don't even use the trail. So it's like a
Right.
waste. Like why are we building a trail to walk this community on the east side when the constituents or the resident east side don't even take advantage of it?
Or they
What's
don't
the
have
point?
time to walk.
Right,
Or they,
right. What's the
because
point?
they're too busy working and
Right.
trying to survive.
So,
Well, something better than that would be the bus expansion. I mean, because coming from New York, transportation is key. So if you had expansion of the buses, right, then you could take the buses anywhere. You know, I mean, it would be affordable. And I've always said this because people say, "Oh, you're against free buses." Yes, I'm against free buses for people who can afford it.
yeah.
If you can't afford it, you should get a voucher.
I totally agree.
You know,
I agree.
because
The money got to come from somewhere.
it's got to come from somewhere,
It-
right?
it-
And if it's not
right,
coming from
right,
one,
right.
it's coming from another.
Right.
But you're still not going
Right.
to expand if
but-
you're short of money.
And think about how much revenue you could generate with just charging the proper people that need to pay bus fares.
Yeah.
And you can move that money to other places within this county. Now, if you do free bus rides, I never knew it. They had free bus rides until the mayor debate. I was like, man, I walk by this bus every day, and I could have jumped on the bus. I thought I had no coins in my pocket, you know, no dollars, no card. I didn't know you could just get on the bus and just ride it. Never knew that.
I still see people walking. I'm on Cherokee Road, and we have no sidewalks.
Right.
I still see people walking on the grass
Right.
to get to Lexington to grab a bus.
Yeah. Right.
We have bus stops, by the way. We don't have buses. They've done bus stops, covered and everything, but no buses pass around there on the east side. So you're like, you know, if we were to fund this, and like I tell people, they say, oh, Mara doesn't want to help the poor or the elderly. No, I do. Vouchers. I'm saying it, vouchers.
Right.
You know, there's no reason why we can't give vouchers to people who are looking for a job or down on their luck, you know, and, you know, we can provide that. That's not a problem. But for somebody who has a job and who's looking not to take their car and take the bus, you're spending less.
Right.
But I shouldn't be forced to ride a bicycle on a lane. You know, I've never ridden a bicycle in my life, you know? And I could kill myself, actually, if I run one of those things. And I don't know too many Hispanics that would do that. Actually, they're pushing us to try and ride them, right? But what about my kids? You know, like when you have small kids, are you really going to ride a bicycle with your kids? I know I'd be scared. So I think we always have to think that people have to ride cars. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but we need cars, especially mothers. Bags, grocery store, put on the
Right.
kids, you know, I mean, I know some people think,
Convenience,
oh no,
yeah.
the bicycle is the miracle thing. You don't have to pay insurance. No, you know, we
As a
have,
mother, imagining riding a bike with my kid in tow in one of those little trailer things, bags hanging off of every part
Yeah.
of the bike that I could get a bag around, that is
Right.
horrifying.
It is.
I'm not against bicycle lanes, but you know what? I prefer a sidewalk in an area where people are walking, or street lights in areas that people want them, you know, because I've been, especially canvassing, it's unreal. I go to
Right.
neighborhoods, really nice trees and everything. You go to other areas, you see the difference.
Right.
And we're in Athens. Come on, you know, this,
It's really small.
I'm just saying. So
Right.
we want to keep people in their homes. We want to apply taxes with the priorities, the services that people need in different areas, you know? And as far as adding additional housing, the reason, my opinion, that they want to build is because they want more money, more tax money to maintain and not to cut. There are programs that don't work
Right.
or need reform or need to be get rid of.
Right.
You know, we need to either get rid of them or reform them, but they need more transparency. We need to know that they're working, you know, and they say, oh yeah, we have performance measures. So how come we don't see the differences?
Right.
We have performance measures, but we don't see I mean, people in the community are not dumb,
Right.
you know? And I think that sometimes they're like, oh, you know, Mara doesn't look at data. This is what the data says. Well, there's data and there's also what the community feels and sees in their own neighborhood, you know, because you're feeling the pressure of many things
Right.
and you're also seeing your neighbors live a certain way. So how come you're telling us we're doing great,
Really not.
but some people are not? So that's what we need to address, really.
Right.
You know, the discrepancies of, you know, what the solutions that we're being. It's a matter of first, let's get to see where our budget really is at. Let's do an audit, right? People hate that word. They say, oh, we're already doing an audit. Yeah, we're doing our own audit. It's like me asking my daughter to audit my books, right? No, we need third party
Right.
auditor coming in, telling us, you know, where we stand really and how we should proceed. Now, I've had a conversation with the city manager about 2 days ago, and I was really happy to hear he had some of the same sentiments. And I was like, all right. So when I get into office, me and this guy, we see eye to eye.
Right.
Because he's a numbers guy, and I'm a
Right.
numbers woman.
Right.
When you have about 40 years experience in business, you know, you look at your income and your expenses, and you want to make sure you're standing on a firm ground when you go out and you do things. You don't just go spend, and all of a sudden you say, oh, wow, you know, I got a lot of debts. I got to now look for how else to pay these things. Well, why don't you cut your debts?
Right.
With you saying that, you have been adamant about the accountability in the White House, in the City Hall.
Yeah.
In City Hall. With your business background, what would be one of the first frivolous expenses that you would see yourself cutting?
Well, I would work it backwards, actually. I would start with the priorities. Because if you start with the frivolous, you know, I
Right.
mean, you got to start with the priorities. What are the core duties of the government and their expenses? So you have to allocate and see what you need. And then you work your way down
Right.
to all the pretty things. Okay, now we got to look at all those pretty things. What are the priorities on those pretty things? You know, that's how I would work it.
Right.
Start with the priority things that we need and work our way down. I mean, that's the way I see it.
My question is, if you elect the mayor, and I think all of us know, for the most part, like, we're getting squeezed out. So what would be the first thing you would do to put a halt on people in the community getting squeezed out of their own house? Like, our neighborhoods, when I grew up, they're unrecognizable now. When I say that is, we got college students all in the neighborhoods where they never were there. They're building apartments for college
Gentrification
students.
is
Right.
really-
So what can you tell the people they're listening right now, what would you be one of the first things you would do to stop the squeezing out? Because I feel like we've been squeezed out, priced out of our communities, and we've been here for years.
Let me tell you, one of the things that I have found, and people have talked about it, right? You hear from the other candidates, you hear, oh, our voice is not heard. Well, the voice hasn't been heard for a long time.
Right.
It's not just happened since this person started running. The voice hasn't been heard for a long time already, from what I see it, you know. When I go into the community and I talk to people, believe it or not, people know what their solutions are. Because you live it every day. The thing is that we don't take people in their own community, their opinions as important. We don't. Instead, we say, we know, like the local government, right? We know, we're the professionals, we'll tell you what you need, right? And then you can come up and say, no, we disagree. They go, no, because we're the professionals. We know what you need. And that shouldn't be. I think that the reason a lot of people don't even go out to vote these days is because of that. Because you know what your community needs, right? Because I've talked to people when they're like, well, you know, we're just having a regular conversation like you guys are having with me.
Right.
And they're like, well, you know, I see this happening. And I said, well, would you do? Oh, well, you know, I would do this and that. And this other person would say, yes. You're having a hearty conversation with people that live in those communities. Who knows best their community than the people that are living in it? Right?
Yeah.
So I can come up with 20 experts, but they don't live in your community. There's certain challenges that only by living there do you know how to address them. And this is the, you know, we don't hear their voice, but think, you know, if you were born in Athens, right? Okay, let me just put it this way. I'm a problem solver. People hate me because I came in 2006, I saw a problem, I want to change it.
Right.
Some people have been here for 30 years.
They ain't changed nothing.
They have not changed anything.
Right.
They toot their horn about being here. I did this
And what
many
they
service.
did and years of service.
You know,
Right.
and I'm thinking, as I'm listening to this, I'm saying, yeah, but if you've been here for so long, why haven't you done something, right? You can call my actions as inexperience,
Right.
but guess what? This is my second time running for mayor because I see problems and I want to solve those problems. And I've created coalitions in the community. I have gotten involved with key people in the community to learn about some of these issues. And I hear a lot of smart solutions. But I can bring them to the table because who am I, right?
Right.
So I said, well, I got to get in there and be someone in the government so I can bring the voices of the people,
Right.
the ones that want the difference in their community. And I'm not talking about the political people. There's a lot of political people out there.
Right.
They all want to make a difference too. I'm talking about real people.
Right.
Right? People that live in their community have no politics involved. They just want to see their community get ahead.
Right.
Because sometimes we're confused. There's people that are out there and they're like, oh, you know, this thing and that thing, and they're politicizing it.
Right.
We don't need politicizing
Not at
because
all.
that divides people more. We want to know what the problem is and how we can come up with the solution. That is it. I don't care if you're a liberal. I don't care if you're progressive. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. If we can get to the problem through any means, then
So how
we're
do
good to go.
how do you do that? How do you lead that?
Oh, Rick, I got one to help her with this one. She said that something that's so important that it kind of got glazed over. Me being in management and being a company and it crazy, like you said, like the boss gonna run the way they run it. The people on the floor are the people that you need to listen to.
That's right.
If you want to fix it.
Yeah.
But they push you to the side. We're gonna do it this way, and nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? Like so. I just want to give you that. Like, I guess to answer Rick's question is like you have to listen to your constituents
You
and
have,
what people need.
you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead, Ray, I'm sorry.
even when they bring some things and let's say it's not doable, and
Right.
actually I think there's a lot of people that don't go the extra mile. By the
Right.
way, I think people when they offer you something, they go, oh, it can't be done. Really? Have you tried going the extra mile? I don't see a lot of people going the extra mile, and that's what we need. People with more attitudes of going the extra mile to say, okay, that's a good solution. Let's see if that works. Let's consult. Let's find out. You know.
Right.
And maybe it didn't work when you tried to implement
Right.
it
Yeah.
because you didn't do something right,
Right.
or we can tweak it and it might work
Right.
another way. There's
Mhm.
always a way. Let's just
There's
keep it
definitely
that.
always a
Even
way.
police officers, believe it or not, I sat down with police officers.
Mhm.
They also don't get hurt. There's police
I
officers
believe
that
that.
see problems, right? And they tell me, yeah, this is the problem.
Right.
We don't do this. And I'm like, well, have you said anything? I was like, they don't really listen
Right.
to us,
Nobody listen. Right.
So I'm
how do
thinking,
you get the professionals out of the way?
how do you get the professionals out of the way?
The experts.
Oh, the expert. I think we've given them too much power, really.
Yeah.
You're the head, the CEO, and you have policymakers. You have to bring people to the table. I think that too many of these elected officials take things personal. You can't take things personal. When you're an elected official, people are not, like there's going to be people that attack you. So I would say the first people that attack you, those are the ones you have to sit down with. Okay, what's your problem, right? Like, what is it that, because sometimes it's maybe not something even big, Maybe it's a misunderstanding because there's nothing personal. Like,
Right.
I look at all the candidates that are running against me. We've done 16 forums and debates. I like them, in one way or another. Personally, I like them all. And I said this at the debate, which everybody was like, "Oh no, we can't believe she said that." I said, "There's qualified and there's suitable."
Right.
Okay, everybody's qualified. There's only 3 qualifications to being a mayor. Only 3, and we all had it. Now, if you want to tackle economic development, you have a therapist, you have a protester, and you have a bureaucrat, and you have a business person. Who would you choose to tackle economic development?
Oh, of course, the business person. Yeah.
Right? Okay. So that's what I'm talking about as far as suitable. Who's going to tackle those problems, right?
Right.
So, you want to get someone who's had challenges. Here's the other thing we have. Immigration, right? Immigration has been in the forefront. There's a lot of misinformation within the Hispanic community. Well, I can speak Spanish fluently.
Right.
I translated for myself in the debate for immigration, because they asked me, they said, "Do you want to be translated for, or do you know how to translate for yourself?" I said, "No, I speak Spanish perfectly. I translate for myself. I was saying it in English, and then I translated it in Spanish."
Right.
And I said, "I don't want ICE here, but there's ways to approach that, because if you poke the bear will come." And that's the solution to some people is saying, "I'm going to poke the bear because I'm going to poke him in the eye." Well, when you get bitten, when you get hit by the bear, don't be surprised, right? Because that's not how you handle those things. You got to equip people with knowledge, give them actual information, and let them know what the law is and how you're going to help them. Because people in Athens are really nice people. They don't want to see folks being taken away.
Right.
But also, if you're going to poke the bear, you're going to start a fight. And I don't know if that's what some people want, is a fight. But I don't want to put people in danger, There's ways to address those kind of situations, and the basic thing is you've got to gain trust between the Hispanic community and the police, because a lot of the times ICE is looking for specific people.
Right.
And the Spanish community is afraid to report. And because they're
Can't
afraid to
show up,
report,
right.
then they got to show up.
Right.
But if you create a relationship there, that people know that the police is not out there looking for people that don't have their status in order.
Right.
They only get you if you're doing something illegal.
Right.
And don't do something illegal, right? That's just the truth of the matter.
101.
If you're a citizen and you drive without a license, what happens to you?
You're arrested.
You're arrested. You're gonna get busted.
You get arrested, right? You're something. If you've done it 1 or 2 times. So why would you not do that to someone with papers or without papers?
Right.
If it's the same crime, right? If it happens to one person, it's going to happen to them.
Right.
With the only problem is that other person, now by law, they have to report them. But it's the law.
Right.
The any power. We can only comply. And so, like I said, if you don't comply, you poke in the eye, they cut your funds. We're already low on funds. Do we really want to put people in that kind of situation when we're hurting already with our federal funding? We're already hurting. So do we want to cut it further? Because that's what they're going to do,
So I've got a question for you about UGA. I'm sure you've heard quite a few questions. So we know how UGA has had impacts on Athens negatively. Also that they don't pay taxes.
Mhm.
So when we're talking about taxes paying for what we need, affordable housing being a problem, we're continuing to build more and more apartments to attract more UGA students. We're spending, what, $4 million to redo the block, the square.
Triangle.
Triangle.
Not the triangle, the
No,
square
the
downtown.
square by downtown.
Oh, I just saw that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're spending $4 million
More.
Right.
to make that look pretty
It-
for UGA
Yeah.
students.
That's
Now,
crazy. I don't
a
see
problem.
anything.
We have unhoused people,
Right.
and we're taking them, pushing them off the streets, telling them they can't sleep here, and we're going to spend $4 million to make this one small part of Athens look pretty for UGA students.
That's a waste of money.
It's a
There was
waste of
nothing wrong
money,
with the way it looked.
But more importantly, how can we, or how would you potentially approach UGA to help us as Athenians? Like, we need UGA to do their part because they continue to bring more and more students. I think it was 6,000 more students this year than any other
Right.
year. That's huge.
Mhm.
And yes, their sales tax from their purchases is beneficial, but it does not cover what they take from the community.
Let's squeeze out.
So
I think the relationship between UGA and the local government has been very antagonistic. First of all, there's no way you can have a conversation when you're attacking someone else, you know? I mean, imagine, I'm sitting with you and I want to make a deal. I'm saying, yeah, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You want to make a deal with me, but they have a fragmented relationship, first of all. So there's no way you can have a conversation, you know, about anything with any entity that you're attacking. And you see that. I mean, you see some commissioners even attack publicly UGA. It's the biggest employer here. And they have some of the greatest resources that we can actually, you know, come together on. But I don't think that they want to have a conversation with people that are attacking them and keep doing things to, you know, they're making them look like everything is bad. And I don't think everything is bad. You know, there are some things that we can work on, but we need to have a conversation. Now, there are people that say they do have a relationship with UGA, but the relationship goes so back and so deep. The concern for me, and this is not attacking, it's just a concern. I'm allowed to voice my concern. Will you be able to represent the people of Athens when you're getting paid by UGA? When you personally know the president? When you're on his speed dial and he answers your phone call every time you call? That could be a positive thing, but that could be a negative thing too. You know what I mean? How can you tell people that you will represent them when it's too close?
Right.
You know, that's my only concern in that end. But I do think that we need to have a relationship with them. I think we need to have the conversations about the effects of their actions and how we can come to a middle ground. Because I think we could, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, I would approach it with dialogue. And I think that's one of my biggest assets. If you talk to people that have known me for the past 7 years in the community, I have brought people together, unlikely people together. Because, like you guys, as soon as I came in, I felt you guys. You know, I was like, oh, these guys are warm. They're ready for dialogue. That's exactly what I felt from you guys.
Right.
On other times, you feel people are antagonistic. So when you feel people are antagonistic, then it takes a little bit more work.
Right.
Because you got to peel layers of whatever it is to get to the nitty gritty. And when you get to that layer, then you're in that position to have a dialogue.
Right.
And that's a skill. And I noticed that a lot of the candidates don't have that skill. Let's talk about one of the candidates that I criticized, that you don't listen to people that don't think like you. And this person went as far as excluding people that don't think like him in commissions and boards. That's serious business right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't matter if a person is ideologically different from you, but they're looking for the same solution that you are. Even if they think differently than you politically, you got to allow space to see what their possible solution is.
For sure.
You know? Because we all get the same solution from the same thinking type of people. You're not challenged.
Right.
You're not thinking outside the box.
And you're
You know?
continuing that, 35 years of
Yeah.
Housing problems.
Yes, 35 years of a lot of the same problems. That's not new. That was one of my platforms 4 years ago. That's still the platform for some people.
If you pull
Safety?
up the budget, it does not break it down into where the money is specifically going. It's chunked. So when she's talking about transparency, like that's where my anal retentiveness comes out. Like you can hide whatever you want in that chunk as to where this money's going. Where's it really going?
Where's it really going, right?
And I think that's where people have lost trust in the government. And that's why my platform, my first one, is restore trust. Why? You can't pass anything if somebody doesn't trust you, right? I could try to sell you how to do affordable housing. I could try to sell you economic development, but you're looking at me like, I don't trust you. Why should I accept what you're telling me? I first have to establish trust. How do we establish trust? Clarity, transparency, showing things how they've been spent, cutting and prioritizing, people in the community that are hurting the most. We understand other people need stuff too, right? Well, we got to get people up to par. If we get people up to par, then we can begin to do some things that are common to everybody.
I agree.
And I think that when you restore that trust, then we can start passing things again, and then people will begin to vote, because 81,000, and I said this before debates, 81,000 people registered to vote, and only 21,000 are voting in the last elections. Now, here's the thing. That's a base. That's a base. Do you see any billboards other than my own saying that we have the most important election here in Athens, May 19th? That's it.
Right.
You don't see it. I've gone on canvassing. You know how many people know about May 19th? Oh, I thought we voted in November. No, we vote in May.
Right.
The people, that base gets that information. Go ahead and vote. Go ahead and vote. That base is informed.
Right.
75% are not informed. And it's hush-hush. They're not out there promoting that we have an election. There's a lot of people that don't know. And after the election has passed, and everyone's like, wait a minute, we have a new mayor?
Right. What happened?
How come I didn't get to vote?
So I've got a question for you in regards to that. When I was working full-time and being a full-time mom, I can tell you that my attention to what was going on around me was limited, and I wasn't educating myself. It's not that the information wasn't there, it was that I didn't have the time, or I felt like I didn't have the time to really learn everybody's platform or do my own research to figure out who the best people to vote for would be. How would you, or what would you recommend to people who are in similar situations where it's all I can do to get through the day? I want to vote, I want my voice to be heard, I want there to be a change in my community, but I'm trying to keep my head above water. And right now, all I can do is focus on me and keeping my head above water and making sure my family is happy and healthy. And I think we have a lot of that, not only in our community, but in the nation right now. And more people that want to make a difference, want to see changes, but it's everything they can do just to survive the day.
Do you know you have a neighborhood leader?
I do not.
Every district has a neighborhood leader. Do you know your neighborhood leader?
I do not.
I know who the neighborhood leaders are. I know who I reach out to in each part of the community when I need to pass information along, or there are certain people in meetings but I've never seen a community leader walking around a neighborhood or setting up a table at the front of a neighborhood or advertising anything. Now, that could just be that I'm not seeing it.
What does a neighborhood leader do?
Well, they're supposed to get resources, information out to their community. And I think I've not run up to, most people don't know who their neighborhood leader is, but that's an expense, very high expense that we have on our budget, And I think that's where one of the things that we have to look at. Because if we're paying for people to get information and resources, I've even asked people that had needs. I said, well, don't you have the resources? I don't know where to go. Oh, but we're paying for a neighborhood leader for your district. And it's not really getting out there, but who's it getting out to then? Like I've never met I've met one lady who's a neighborhood leader, and she does a really good job, but I see her everywhere. And that's the way I wish I would see the other ones, like everywhere. This lady is everywhere, just giving out, this is what we have, this is, the resource. And I'm like, I'm impressed with her. And I told her, man, you deserve a raise. But anybody else, I don't see.
Right.
I think that we need to do a better job of informing people, definitely. Because when you look at it, it's not a lot of people. We're such a small place, right? So we need to get a better website, for the local government. We really need, if you want to look, sometimes they make fun of people that say, we can't see that information. Oh, it's there. Yeah, but
We
to
have to
get
dig
to that
for it.
information, you got to dig for it. Who has 2-3 hours to be digging into stuff? They're not lying when they say, oh, the information is there. They make you look kind of dumb.
Right.
Like, oh, I couldn't find the information, but it's there.
Right.
Yeah, but how I don't have that much time to be looking at stuff like that. There are researchers that have, and I'm talking real researchers that have gone into our website and have found stuff and information that you're like, oh wow, how did they find that? Right? They dug into it. But who has the time? I'm not a researcher, So we need to make information more available to people, for the folks that are computer savvy is one thing. And then we need to get boots on the ground, better work to find out who are the elderly people or through the school, maybe partnership through the school to get mothers informed. Like you said, you're a parent,
There are neighborhood leaders that I know have worked with the schools, at least on the east side Winterville area, to get information out. However, how many of us have kids who've been in elementary school, and what's the likelihood of us getting that note?
Yeah.
Potentially. So there are definitely ways to better the communication.
Well, when I was in the school, we didn't have a lot of mothers or fathers coming into informational meetings at all. PTAs. I mean, didn't see that much happening. I see obvious problems, but that's not my area.
Right.
Board of Education is not my area. I would ask that to Lakeisha Gant. I asked her at the debate. I said, why? And her and Tim Denson, I asked them both because they were in the board. I said, why are our third graders at a 29 proficiency reading level? And they said the problem was with the families. Well, like I said to you, you can't control that. You can only, if that was the case, then there was a New York Times article, I want to say about a year ago, that came out that Mississippi and Alabama, and there was another state, that were at the bottom. And they changed their policies in the Board of Education, and they started pursuing those kids. And they went from the bottom to the top. So why can't we do that? Why is it that we've had all these, some of the kids do well, and they say that I'm calling kids bad or teachers bad. No, I'm not calling kids bad or teachers bad, because I'd be calling my own kids bad if that was the case. I'm saying we have a problem in the school system because 29%, that's the proficiency level of third graders last year. And according to, and I use Spencer's Fry newsletter, because I said if I use any other source, people might say, oh, she's using the source. Spencer Fry's resource said that one of our high schools was 205 in Georgia. And our ranking is low. Sure, we have some valedictorians, we've had some teachers of the years, we've had awards. So with all of that, why is one of our high schools at 205th? Why are our third graders at 29%? I mean, we can highlight the positive dots that we have, but it doesn't have an overall good score. So when you say something like, if you say a Coney, they go, oh, but those are rich white people. Well, let me tell you something. When I came to Beaufort, right? A lot of poor kids in Beaufort too. They learned to read and come out and go to college just like the other kids.
Right.
I saw that. So why can't we do that? I think it's an easy, question to ask. So it's something that's going on there, right? And then we've had 3 superintendents that they've hired. The board members have hired. So
And
they've
their
all left.
salaries are astronomical.
Yeah, they've left. We don't know the reason in many cases. Some other ones we do. But why do we have such a high turnover on superintendents, right? So all those are skills, a record, I should say, a record people have. I don't have, that kind of record.
Right.
Give me a chance, because I believe that I believe that kids with the proper, system in the school system, maybe a partnership with the local government. I don't know how it's going to look, but I do know that kids are smart. Parents want their kids to learn. They're working maybe 2 jobs. Why would they have to do what I did for my kids? I had the time, but some parents don't have the time.
Most parents don't
You
have
drop
the
off your kids, and then you got an hour to shower them, bathe them, look over their homework. Do you really have time to go tutor them? And maybe you don't even have money to pay for extra tutoring time. Those kids get left behind.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's shameful. And I don't apologize for saying those things, because those are the realities that people have to look at when they look at candidates. What have you done for our community?
Right.
Tell me the results. Don't just tell me you had 30 years of service. Don't tell me you had this title. Don't tell me you were on this board. That's all nice and dandy.
Right.
What have you done?
And the crazy part, they've been on the board. They've been in politics for X amount of years. And it's still the same every year. So my question, I look at them, I'm like, why should I vote for you? You've been in the system.
You've been in the system, yeah.
You haven't changed anything, so why should I keep regurgitating you?
And that's what they do a lot of times, is they give you a title, they give you a board, a membership, and then they say, oh, this person has a title, this person was the same people.
Right. And nothing else
I've
changes.
seen some people be on 5 different boards. I actually applied for a board, right? And I went for an interview. I was head to head with this other person, and they took the incumbent, even though she was on 5 other places. A year after having the inclusion office, this lady was white, the other person was white, and there was the mayor. 3 white people. We had just gotten the inclusion office. We were all about inclusion, and I was not taken. It was the incumbent, right? So I'm saying, so are we really trying to have some sort of equity here, right?
Right.
So then we should have stepped it up.
For sure.
Question.
Have some everybody represented.
I guess my last question, because it is,
You see how it goes?
May 19th.
Ready for bed.
It's less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Why should your name be the name picked on the ballot?
My name should be picked because, number one, I saw the problems 7 years ago. It didn't take me 20, 30 years to act.
Ooh.
As soon as I saw the problem, I said, I'm going for the head. Because the head is usually the one responsible. The representative of the community is the person that's supposed to bring everybody together. I didn't see that. So I didn't have to be here 30, 40 years and be part of multiple boards to finally say, oh, there's a problem I need to address. Vote for me because I've been here 30, 40 years. No, it took me only 4 years. So I recognize problems and I act. I don't just say, I act.
Right.
When I looked at the problems our community was having, that they wanted to defund the police in 2022, I went out there and I said, no, I don't believe that's the proper solution to get rid of or reduce the police force. Because we have crime. And the ones that get more effective is the minority areas. That's who gets affected the most. So I went out there and I protested that. When they were going to give $2.something million for the 10 encampment, I said that thing is going to fail. It's going to fail. You have it on record that I said that. They didn't like it. What happened? It failed. Because to put it for tents that were going to be blown away and there was so much drama after that, it was bound to fail. So I didn't think that was a proper solution, among other things. You know, every time I went out to the communities and I heard them out. I listened to the problem. We even had a developer. Let me tell you, we had a developer once come to a small group of people. And this group of folk that were fighting this development, we said, well, we didn't like it because of this, and you're not bringing jobs to the area, da-da-da. And this developer arrogantly said, well, it's going to get done anyway.
And they were right, weren't they?
No. Because we went out there and we didn't know, the people in the group, we didn't know that we were all going to go and speak up. But each and every person said, that's what he said. And then the commission said, no. It was the first win they had. But because this man so arrogantly said, it's going to get done anyway.
Right.
So it didn't matter what the people were saying, you know. It was going to get done anyway. But it didn't happen. But it showed them that we had some sort of power. You know, we do have a voice. That we just have to see how to approach it and get there. But it would really help to have some alliances, you know, in the local government. People that will really value that community shouldn't be broken up. Because this organization took me to the neighborhood and they showed me a community.
Right.
Hey, Mrs. Elder. Hey, Mr. Johnson. You know, older people that have been living in their homes. Sure, they're older. They don't have anybody to help them, you know. And they said, this is our community. This is being overtaken. If more commissioners were to do that, I tell you, it would be, because I also hadn't seen it if it wasn't that these folk took me to see it.
Right.
To me, it was like, oh, gentrification. Well, it happens when you have growth. That's just normal. I'm coming from New York. And this lady said to me, I'm going to show you something. And she took me out. And when she took me out, I saw it. And I said, wow, this is a problem.
And unless you live in that area,
Yeah.
you don't see it. Unless
see
you
it.
purposefully go and visit. You can go from any point in Athens and drive to the area I feel pretty confident you're talking about. And it feels like you see where money is going and it's not going where it's needed.
Right.
Well,
And they're trying to take over and make it better for college students or people who aren't from the community or haven't lived there for generations upon generations.
so I say that I think I'm the most appropriate candidate because I go out there. I didn't just come out now like some of the candidates, you know, oh, now we're for the people. No, I've been out with the people.
Right.
When I ran in 2022, after, I didn't give up. I stayed within the communities. I went out there, continued to pursuing what were the problems, what did we need to do, what are you guys telling me? I persisted on going to the mayor commissioner meetings. I told in a debate, I said, I've never seen some of these candidates at the mayor commissioner committee or the planning department or any housing. And I know because I've been to all of them.
Right.
I haven't seen them. I see common faces, but I haven't seen their faces. So they just came out and saying, we're going to do something for the community, but where were you?
Right.
You coming out now, but where were you? Because I've been in the community for 7 years. I haven't seen you. I've seen you in protests, but protest doesn't bring solution. Protests just say, you know, we're protesting this, but it doesn't bring community solutions. So I believe I'm the right candidate because I've been involved. I have helped communities in their fight. I helped the firefighters with their Title 25 by bringing a coalition together, and they got their Title 25 passed. So I've been working behind the scenes with a lot of issues that, because I didn't think I might be running again, and I don't really like to toot my horn, but people in the community know where I brought coalitions and I brought people that were probably unlikely to come together through dialogue. Because you create a relationship, let's say I create a relationship with you, and you're like, oh, Mara's okay. And then I create a relationship with you, and you say, oh, Mara's okay. But you guys are both unlike each other. Right. Then I will go to you and say, I'm going to ask you for a favor. I want you to have a conversation for me.
Oh, I want to do it anyways.
I'm just saying.
Put me with somebody. Let's
Right?
talk.
Somebody you don't like. Then, because I've had that, by the way.
Right.
I've had two very unlikely people, right? Very unlikely. And I asked one of them, and I said, listen, I'm going to ask you a favor. You're going to have a conversation with this person because this person is very knowledgeable in research. And I want you to be patient for me. I'm asking you for a favor. I knew I was doing a favor to this person, but I'm asking them as a favor.
You got to make it sound
Yeah.
good.
And so what happened was that for me, this person engaged with this person. They latched on. They became a team. And it was good for both of them. But sometimes two different people don't want to unless there's a liaison.
Right.
I believe I'm a liaison.
There you go. That's it.
All right. Quickly, tell them how they can find your information so that they can make the vote.
Okay. So I have a couple of things. maraformayor.com is my website. So you can go there because you will see my platform. Number 2, I am on Facebook, Mara Zuniga for Mayor, and you will see a couple of reels there. And you can go back all the way to 2022. And you will see the community events I've gone to, the meetings that I document everything.
Right.
So you can go back and you can look at everything I've done. If you question that, oh, Mara, she's not involved. Oh, Mara's been involved. And you can go back all the way to 2022, maybe
Let
even
them
before.
know.
Yeah.
She's been at every mayor and commission meeting I've ever
Let them
been
know. Let them
Yeah.
know.
And I posted some of them. I posted, there was one where even Mayor Gertz, I was, I think 3 seconds over. He called the police and the policeman went, and I thought it was funny. So I snapped a picture of that. I said, look, police, and he knew me, the
Right,
cop was,
right.
he was moseying to the front, really slow, giving me time to finish. And when he came to the front, he was like, you gotta go. And I was like, and I said what I had to say and then I left.
Right.
But one thing that I've shown is that I'm bold. I don't mind standing up for people. And if it's the right thing, I really don't mind, and I get criticized for that. But I think that if you showed you're bold, then somebody else will step up, and somebody else will step up when they see that nothing happened to you, right? I mean, okay, they didn't send her to jail or whatever. If she did it, then I could do it, and I've seen that. I've seen people, do those bold moves. So you can find me on Instagram as well, Mara Zuniga for Athens. I have those things. I'm very well documented, and they can follow my journey since the first time I ran.
Right.
All right. Well, we thank you.
Well, thank you guys.
And May 19th, if you are voted the next mayor,
Registered.
Huh?
Registered
register for
to vote.
No. If the election is May 19th.
May 19th is the
Right. Never mind.
if you are voted in as the next mayor of Athens.
Oh, that's what he said.
Okay, we missed. We
Okay.
were trying to correct
Hey,
something. we
Rick,
didn't let you
I was with you, bro. I know where you're going with that one. I don't know what. There's some lady power action over there. Like,
can I do?
hey, you said exactly what you were saying.
Can I do what I do?
Huh?
No.
Sorry, Rick.
Can we get you back here
Afterward, yeah, for
and
sure.
get an update on how your first 100 days have went
Yeah,
as the new mayor of Athens?
I would love that.
Yes.
Okay.
I would love that.
Ink it.
You guys make it easy
Ink it.
to converse even more. than,
Right,
you
ink
know,
it.
normal. And I think it's because you're open to conversation, and we need more of that in our community.
For sure. I
You
agree.
know.
I agree.
Well, like I say, we thank you, and irregardless, even though they said it's not a word, whether you make it or not, I believe that you're someone that is good for this community,
For sure.
Thank you. I appreciate
Big
that.
time.
and for that reason, I say thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because the east side of Athens is where we are from, and
All of us from East Side.
but you don't live on the east side now, so that's,
But that's where you from, though.
But you know I live on the east side too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I did hear you say that, and so that's why I'm saying it is so important to us, the east side of Athens, because the east side has been the stepchild of Athens for so long,
A really long time.
and so that's why it's refreshing to have someone that stands up for the east side. So, but we're gonna get ready to get up out of here, and hopefully, like I said, this conversation has helped someone make a informed decision on May 19th.
Right.
So we're gonna get ready to get up out of here, and
Thank you guys.
you're so very
My
welcome.
pleasure.
Glad
to have you.
And thank you for the guests for also
Hey, I'm glad
inputting Canada. and
we
Elite.
got to randomly show up.
Right.
And I can't keep my mouth shut. So.
Right, yeah.
But I love that. I love
Oh, it's fun.
conversation.
I do too.
mean,
I do too. And learning.
Y'all finna let me close this thing.
No,
'cause
'cause
I got something to say, and Mr. Elite got something to say, and then we going home. We
Elite's
got,
ready for bed.
yes, and I'm gonna let him get it once he got us. But this game called life is a series of moments. The past is just that, the past. Learn from it and be thankful for it. The future, prepare for it. It's coming. Let's get to the next one. The present, it is a gift. Enjoy the journey. Take plenty of pictures, but most importantly, thank God. Mr. Elite,
The floor is yours.
This is a a very old poem that I've written a while back, and it's called "Hanging from a Noose." One day soon we won't have an excuse if we continue to uproot the strengths of our roots. America pimps my people like prostitutes, but now we do more damage to each other if you want the truth. It's true it's hard to constitute a troop of bad fruit that we've planted and harvested in the season of the flu. I ain't even the one to tell you what we need to do. I ain't even the one because I plant bad seeds too. And it's a scary thought when you truly think it through, victims of the crab effect, lack of faith, and self-abuse. And speaking of abuse, I see a lot of us bruised. My daddy told me life can whip you. I'm living proof. It's easy to say that we should just start anew, but those of us that's really interested are very few. I mean, we don't even talk about uniting like we used to. How we ever gonna change circling the same loop? We scream black power like the Panthers used to do. Now it looks like we ain't got enough power to light a fuse. I'm thinking now that maybe we ain't ready for the truth, because when I speak of revolution, we get deaf, dumb, and mute. And some of y'all walk around like you're too cute, way too concerned about clothes, cars, and shoes. Our kids recognize this, so they follow suit. You can call it what you want. Monkey see, monkey do. Well, what our kids see is what we do for these jewels. And what our kids see is us banging red or blue. And what our kids see is us acting like fools with these guns and these drugs and these dark avenues. But they don't see us early Sunday morning in the pew or in the community trying to educate the youth. Can't help you with your homework because we ain't got a clue. Can't compete with corporate America if you can't compute. Like it or not, we still hanging from a noose. The same knot Willie Lynch taught David Dukes. The same rope designed to choke the life out of you. From the same mind that put porch monkeys on the stoop. The same mind that built the Winn-Dixie and played you for a fool. You thinking you bargain shopping. You supporting those that hate you. Racism is still alive. It's sad but true. Some of my biggest fans still consider me a spook. But if you had to point the blame, who you point the fingers to when somebody that looks like you wants to hurt you as bad as they do? Beautiful black rose destined for doom. Suffocated by self-hate, can't blossom and bloom. Some say it's in the water. Some say it's in the food. Some say it's the everyday nonsense that we consume. Like every youngster want to be a rapper or in a rap group. And all baby girl want to do is shake a caboose. It's safe to say that racist America set the mood, but the pain we feel as a people today is self-induced. Sometimes I want to raise the white flag and call it truth, but my daughter's holding on to me. I can't cut her loose. TV and social media got our children confused with no guidance or protection or a realistic point of view. Cause daddy's out the loop and mama's twisted on the booze, and love and hip hop has got her glued to the tube. I tell these kids, you don't need a crew. You can stand up for you. You can be a straight A student and still be cool. Your mother is a queen, her respect is due. Whether or not your family tree is stable at the roots.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I appreciate you.
Where can we find that poem? That's beautiful. Is that on your website or?
No, I've been out of music for a long time, and a lot of my material had gotten deleted. So this is I'm
rebirth.
working on bringing all of this stuff back.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was nice.
That was definitely
That was dope.
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 Well, y'all, it's time to sweep. No, it's time to clean the clippers.
Sweep the floor.
We're gonna sweep these floors.
Wow, I already
Hey.
thought an hour and a half was too much. Look at that. We
Hey,
spent
Rick.
about 2 hours.
I think some cat didn't bring them hot wings. I think we
Said
put
cat
the
didn't bring no
bathroom.
hot wings.
Yeah, check
You
in the
keep
bathroom.
talking trash, see if I make anything.
Said cat didn't bring no hot wings.
Bring no hot
I'm starting
We're talking randomly. Talking random. We're talking randomly. Talking random.